We've agreed that, hey, listen, if it's honest critique, obviously, I'm going to be able to do my job. Also, if he has something to say about me, he could also say it. But the vitriol and the like, there's a moment, there was actually a couple years that I think I believed, and probably Meek believed, that if we ever had ran into each other during that time, based on the conversations that we had and the tension that was happening, it probably wouldn't have been just a conversation, right? And I was very happy when 21 Savage, put me in conversation with Meek. I was trying to do it for years. Again, just think about how I make money, how I do my thing, bro. I don't want to beef with a rapper. You know what I mean? Like, Meek should be having beef with other gangsters. You know what I mean? Like, I remember talking to Meek, and I don't want to give really much of our conversation, and he's like, yo, act. It's like, yo, I'm really living this. Like, he hopped out of the car when we were on FaceTime. He's like, yo, this is a bulletproof car. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay, good. You know what I mean? I'm glad you're moving correctly. But for him, his reality is that he's beefing with, or not beefing, but he might have issues with either street niggas or other people that want to kill him. I don't want to kill Meek Mill. Never have. Don't care like that. So I was happy that we came to a common place. I only say that to tell y'all that when I do comment on Meek now, it's nothing out of malice. It's usually trying to almost even see his side. If you don't know, Meek Mill is now independent. I don't know how that got done. I'm trying to reach out to some of my sources at Atlantic, which I have a lot, to hear what's the, I don't even want to say tea, but like what's the thing about that. I have a idea what I think it was. And I think this is what happens to a lot of artists who don't continue to be hot, or who don't continue to maintain the value that their label purports them to be. This is why I think Meek's independent. I'm going to get to his post in a second. Meek Mill is a artist who sold 250,000 first week twice. You know what that does to a label? First of all, you gotta usually there's renegotiations after that. You gotta shell out a hell of an advance. That artist at that point is now feeling like they are almost at superstar status. They're expecting the label to do more. Okay? I've always said this about Wale. Wale thinks that his accomplishments means the label will do more. Here's the thing. A label, and I'll use DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled is a great example to use. When DJ Khaled drops an album, his label is going to spend $5 to $10 million on promo. Think about that. Just on promo. They probably already spend 5 to 10 also on getting the features, clearances, samples. So before Khaled drops an album, they're $20 million in the hole. This is not usual. You have developed a commodity that you have to spend so much money just to recoup. So they're down to spend the 20, but they don't want to make 20. They want to make 600, a billion. So they're hoping everything he does is lit. By the way, it's the same thing when you think about, like, you know why 50 Cent lost his leverage with Interscope? Because they used to look at 50 Cent as, you're like 30% of the sales that we anticipate for the year. So we'll give you whatever budget. It's all good when you're doing the numbers. The moment the numbers don't really, the math ain't mathing, bro, these are industry people. They don't fuck with you like that. I can tell you for a fact, there's a lot of industry people that lost faith on Meek Mill when he sold 93K for the last album. Because the amount of money they put into him, they expected over. I know this is a fact. Label niggas told me. Yeah, yo, Meek should be doing at least over 150, 160, 170, around there. If he does 200, that would be great. If he does 250 again, oh shit, that's what we wanted. But doing 95, and by the way, I'm not picking on Meek. I'm using this as an example because I want to bring up some of his tweets. This is a reality of situations. Only in hip-hop do artists think that because you were popping 10 years ago, you have a great catalog, which, by the way, Meek has an outstanding catalog. But the labels don't respect you. Let me tell you the label motto. It's easy to make a new you. It's cheaper to make a new you and invest in a new you than pay you when you're lit. You want to know why Atlantic Records didn't retain YoungBoy's services? YoungBoy is lit. Even though he's 22, he's super lit. All the leverage in the world. You know what they're thinking? We're going to either have to give him some of his masters back. We don't want to do that because we own these 22 projects for life. Or we're going to have to pay maybe 70, 80, 90, $100 million for YoungBoy. They took a risk. They said, well, risk assessment. That's how insurance companies do. Well, if we pay him $100 million and say he gets sentenced to time or whatever charge he might have, or he gets into some shit, we don't recoup. They take that type of risk to say, yo, YoungBoy, as great as you are, we're not giving you $100 million. We'll offer you blah. And I won't say the number because I know the number. That's how the music industry goes. Oftentimes, artists think that because they have developed a catalog, this ain't the NBA, where like your career matters that much that niggas want to sign you to a contract just because you were good 5 years ago. It's what have you done for me lately? So, I didn't cover this because, again, I'm still not even covering everything with Meek, but again, I don't have a problem with Meek. I think he probably still has his stuff on his Twitter. I want to go over it. Okay? I want to go over it. Let me see if I could go over it. Okay. And I've been wanting to talk about this. So, by the way, I don't know how Meek has gotten independent. I don't know if his deal really got up or whatever the case is. I don't know if he leveraged it. By the way, what I do know is this. Meek Mill at this point is trusting the white dudes who ain't in music more than the people that are in music. Let me explain. Meek Mill was signed to Roc Nation. Roc Nation is a quasi-touring company, management company, record label, agency, sport agency, and among other things. Meek Mill has announced that he is not with Roc Nation for management anymore. Despite him and Jay-Z being mad, cool, this and third, he said that his management is now going to go through what I saw through a press release, WME. I'm going to break everything down for y'all. What does that tell me? That tells me that that's a move. And by the way, he's really cool with, what's the guy's name? It's a white dude. Co-owner of Sixers. What's his name? Spam his name. Y'all know his name. Like, it's not no secret. White dude, co-owner of Sixers. What's his name? Rubin. Yes. So Michael Rubin has helped him secure a WME management situation, which is very interesting to me. I'll tell you why. Again, I don't know Meek's business that intimately. I've heard things, but I'm only going to speak what I could verify factually, and then I'll make my own assumptions, which I'll tell you as assumptions. Meek was with Roc Nation, and he left Roc Nation to go to WME. You know what that tells me? Roc Nation wasn't doing a fucking thing for him. Meek, which every time I speak about Meek, there's always these clickbaiter people who like use my content. And by the way, like for all y'all, it's so disingenuous I use my content and like put like these salacious titles because yeah, I do know I own my content. The only person I give explicitly permission to put on my content is Drill, who puts it up on my page. The rest of y'all can just take that shit down. So I want to be very careful, but I'll also state this while I know y'all will take me out of context. I think Meek Mill at this point is realizing what he should have realized a long time ago. Meek Mill has inspired a whole genre of people that want to be him. Except it hasn't happened when it comes to a label. It also hasn't happened in how he's moved. I won't assign blame whether it's him or people representing him, but that's what it is. These tweets were alarming to me from Meek. Very alarming to me. And I'm going to tell you why these tweets were alarming to me from Meek. Again, I want Meek to win. But it was alarming to me because it reminded me of when Meek Mill hit me up when he was beefing with Drake and he said, yo, you're that nigga Drake paying niggas to spam L's in your comment section. And I was looking at Meek at that time and say, that's not what's happening. Drake isn't paying people to be like, go in the Akademiks comment section and spam L's. He's not doing that. You know what I mean? What he's like, it's just internet culture. Give me 1 second. Okay. What that told me is that Meek Mill may have been isolated and insulated by people who fuck with him. Now, I got to explain this to y'all. There's a lot of artists. Let me tell you what Akademiks' Instagram is. My Instagram is a mirror of how fans and people who ain't in your circle really feel about you. I know, yeah, sometimes they got more jokes than others, but trust me, I've been around so many people who are popular, and what happens is they insulate themselves with people who are yes men or people who agree with them. So sometimes I've seen artists come to my page and say, why your page the only place I see people saying this? And sometimes it's not even worth having a conversation with them because I really want to say, where are you getting the conversation piece from? My page ain't filled with Meek Mill haters. You got people who like YoungBoy, people who like Eminem, people who like Drake, people who like Lil Wayne, people who like Nicki. They're not all there to say we don't fuck with Meek Mill. But this is what I try to explain to every artist. Your follower list is your stans. The people who on my page, they talk about you like you're just one of the regular artists, and they give a really non-biased opinion. So anyway, I say all that to say, when Meek had said that to me back then, it's like, yo, Drake paying niggas to put L's under my any post you put about me. I'm like, that's not how it works, but I didn't want to argue. I said, whatever. When I see Meek tweet out this, if you a corporate person, by the way, this was August 17th. It's 4 days ago. If you a corporate person that works in the music business and ever predicted Meek is over, I want to place a $10 million bet with you in contract. Label owners, A&Rs, CEOs, COOs, artists. Listen, this was the important part. I'm just finding out y'all was talking like that. Y'all said I was over at least 5 times. Again, this is the only thing I would give Meek in terms of advice. I know at times me and Meek has been on odds, but it's not because I just intuitively or just intrinsically hate him. Everything I've ever said about Meek, a lot of people think they'll never say. So when Meek says this, he says, yo, I'm just finding out y'all was talking like that. Meek, Atlantic, there's a lot of niggas in Atlantic that was talking that you're finished when you beef with Drake and you on their label. This is the music business. And this is what happens when artists surround themselves with people who they don't who are pretty much either relying on them or it's in their best interest just to tell you, oh no, you're lit. Meek, I could tell you this is a fact. Atlanta, you went crazy. I'm gonna keep it 100 and crazy in a good way. You turned up during that Meek shit and during that Drake shit. Okay, great. People say he wanted beef, but there was a period after it where you were just dropping all type of freestyle. You still had the streets. That's the exact reason why wins and losses sold 100K. You had the streets. Let me tell you this. When you started beefing with Drake, your label quit on you. They thought it was over, bro. They did. It's crazy that Meek finds this out in 2022 because in 2016, that's what they were thinking. In 2015, that's what they were thinking. So when I hear him say like, yo, I want to place a bet with y'all, I'm like, yo, Meek, you shouldn't place a bet, number one. But number two is you should understand. What Meek might have thought is Akademiks hating. I'm the only nigga that will say what everybody be thinking about everything. Like, you know when I came on stream like last week or a couple days ago and I said, yo, they think that new Khaled and Drake song is whack. The whole industry think it's whack, bro. The whole industry. Bro, they're just pussy. They just won't say it. You know why? They don't want Drake and Khaled to be mad at them. Bro, I'll say it. I don't got no business with Drake and Khaled. I'll say it. Song's fucking whack. But in reality, all of these industry people, they watch and they observe and they talk. Let me tell you what happened with Meek and Atlantic from my perspective. They have a difference of opinion. They're not treating Meek as how his catalog believes he should be treated. They think Meek, who nowadays, and I don't know what his current contract with Atlantic or his past contract with Atlantic was, his last one, they feel that Meek should be given mad free. Yo, they're using a YoungBoy model. YoungBoy was signed for 5 albums and gave him 22. There's no point in YoungBoy's career where YoungBoy was like cold. He gave him 22 projects and he was signed for 5. This is a fact. YoungBoy dropped 23, because last Slime Meter was his 23rd. 23 projects, and he was only signed for 5. So you know what they start looking at these other artists and say? By the way, it's the reason why Kodak just dropped Closure. Unofficially, officially, the label's going to pick it up, put it or whatever. It's not going to count for his requirements. Bro, these labels been hoeing these artists forever. So here's the thing with Meek Mill that I realized early on. The labels realized it was too expensive to keep investing in Meek Mill. And that's a very dangerous point to have. They're like, well, back in the day, we only had to give or invest $5 million and Meek would make us 10. They're like, now Meek is using these leverages like, oh, I got a catalog, I got this, I got that. But hip hop don't respect it. So what happens is they're like, fine, we're not investing $5 million, we gotta invest $15 million. So now when they invest $15 million, they're looking at you like, could you get 30? Now they dropped the last joint with Meek, and they realize it the 101st week, and they realize what the sales gonna be. They're like, oh, Meek ain't gonna get us $30 million. Not saying he won't recoup, but they're like, we're only giving this big budget just to possibly recoup. So you know what happens? All that money that they would have gave or allocated to Meek, bro, they're giving to other people. That's it. They're giving to other people. So I don't know how we got independent, but salute to Meek for that. By the way, I don't know if y'all think I was criticizing him. I think Meek is becoming smarter. Meek is in the best position of his career. Here's the problem, and here's the point. He has to execute. And the only way you execute, you got to put the ego beside yourself. I see Meek said, he was going to drop 10 projects. That sounds good. But you know what? A lot of artists Meek is 15 years in the game, bro. You think Meek about to drop 10 free projects just to get? No, he's not, bro. Like, these niggas, once music business, you get the money later. Once you start getting the money, nobody says, oh, let me go back to the free model and just hope to get the money later again. No way, and this is my opinion, Meek drops 5 or 10 free projects trying to get back hot. No. He's going to look at somebody, if he's quote unquote independent, so look at somebody and say, y'all got to pay for this shit. How do you get hot? You got to do it out of passion. You got to just put it up. Hopefully people fuck with it. And that's where I think the interesting part of the whole Meek Mill saga would be. Anyway, people, I'm here. Somebody says Meek needs Drake and French. I don't think so. He don't need them. Meek just needs to work. Meek is in the same position that a lot of artists are in. You want me to tell you artists who are in Meek's position? Roddy Ricch. If I'm Roddy Ricch right now, if Roddy Ricch called my phone right now, you know what I'm going to tell him? Nigga, I don't give a fuck about how many diamond plaques you got. I don't care how crazy that first album did. Bro, the people have basically said, you need to do some more shit. So drop, feed the streets, whatever. Drop another mixtape. Give a couple more freestyles and get back hot. What plagues the majority of artists is that after you've gotten a positive result from doing this, you never want to do this to get the same result. Everybody feels entitled. Okay? Somebody says Hassan is in the are we talking about Hassan Campbell or there's a Hassan on Twitch? If I could tell any of these artists to do anything, bro, just bunker down and just drop music, bro. Just drop music. But, and I feel like I'm saying the same thing twice or 15 times. Here's the problem, people. Dropping music type of shit is like, they're thinking, well, I dropped 2 albums and I got 10 million. Why would I drop 4 damn near almost albums and get nothing? What I would tell them is that you got that 10 million for those 2 albums when you were hot. You're not hot no more. You gotta get hot. Unfortunately, rappers don't ever think about being down. They only think about going up. Anyway, it's all good. We are here. Is it Hassan Campbell? Hassan Campbell's in the building? There's another Hassan I've been watching a little bit too.